but she's never actually seen the ocean.
I forgot to warn you, Mrs. Savage. If you go to your room, don't sleep.
What did she say about not sleeping?
We don't sleep here.
Oh, then where do you sleep?
We don't. Oh, we go back to our room. We agreed with that in principle. But we don't sleep. We don't close our eyes. Because when you go to bed, the day ends. When the day ends, tomorrow begins. Today we are safe, and tomorrow could be filled with disaster. That's why you won't catch any of us sleeping here. Could anything be more simpler?
Not much.
Today is the only certain.
Now, Hannibal, didn't I hear the buzzer for you to go to your room?
I am in spirit, and you know what they say? It's the spirit that counts. Remember, fight the night.
Did you get... Now, what makes you think I believe that? Is it something you proposed yourself, Hannibal?
But for variations of my own.
Oh, mathematics laws was certainly our games.
I don't quite follow that theory.
Fairy Noses used to be a statistician.
Thank you, Numb Street.
Give him a fraction to multiply.
Well, I'm afraid I wouldn't know whether he was right or wrong.
My last job was with the government. My job was to chart trends, keep my finger on the pulse of the public and my ear to the ground.
A rather vulnerable position, was it not?
It was indeed. I was fired and replaced by an electronic calculator.
That's the thing you paid electricity to.
I don't. I wanted to use my brain to make money. So for the next 2 years, I was going to start a business that could be made for a dime, sold for $1, and was habit forming. I'm afraid my education was wasted.
I'm going to send John Thomas to Princeton. Their boys aren't very bright, but they're such gentlemen.
But mind you, Mrs. Savage, may we ask you a person?
Now, what makes you think I believe that? Is it something you proposed yourself, Hannibal?
But for variations of my own.
Oh, mathematics laws was certainly our games.
I don't quite follow that theory.
Fairy Noses used to be a statistician.
Thank you, Numb Street.
Give him a fraction to multiply.
Well, I'm afraid I wouldn't know whether he was right or wrong.
My last job was with the government. My job was to chart trends, keep my finger on the pulse of the public and my ear to the ground.
A rather vulnerable position, was it not?
It was indeed. I was fired and replaced by an electronic calculator.
That's the thing you paid electricity to.
I don't. I wanted to use my brain to make money. So for the next 2 years, I was going to start a business that could be made for a dime, sold for $1, and was habit forming. I'm afraid my education was wasted.
I'm going to send John Thomas to Princeton. Their boys aren't very bright, but they're such gentlemen.
But mind you, Mrs. Savage, may we ask you a person? Away at Dormerfest, all that blood. I transplanted my blood to the Red Cross once, but they sent it back.
Well, I would suspect that you would have been a novel departure as Lady Macbeth.
Well, I can't tell you how much I agree with you, but they cast me as a witch.
Oh, but you're the perfect witch. Speak some witch talk for us.
I would, but I didn't have any lines. If I did, it probably would have cost me twice as much.
Wait, why did it cost you anything?
Well, I backed the show. If I hadn't put up the money, I couldn't even play the mute witch. But we made history. We were the first play to close before the reviews were out.
Was it expensive?
Extremely, but worth it.
Well, that's quite a pity. Weren't you discouraged?
Bitterly. But man is by nature optimistic. Otherwise, he'd eat his young.
Away at Dormerfest, all that blood. I transplanted my blood to the Red Cross once, but they sent it back.
Well, I would suspect that you would have been a novel departure as Lady Macbeth.
Well, I can't tell you how much I agree with you, but they cast me as a witch.
Oh, but you're the perfect witch. Speak some witch talk for us.
I would, but I didn't have any lines. If I did, it probably would have cost me twice as much.
Wait, why did it cost you anything?
Well, I backed the show. If I hadn't put up the money, I couldn't even play the mute witch. But we made history. We were the first play to close before the reviews were out.
Was it expensive?
Extremely, but worth it.
Well, that's quite a pity. Weren't you discouraged?
Bitterly. But man is by nature optimistic. Otherwise, he'd eat his young. Will naturally believe. Not guilty. Starring Ethel P. Savage.
What does the P stand for?
Oh, I haven't the faintest idea. My numerologist said I needed it in my name for luck. He was right. We ran a year.
What was the play about?
Well, a mother had murdered a young man who was defended by a young woman lawyer who turns out to be her own daughter. I had red hair and I died in my daughter's arms every night. We had 2 matinees a week, and the curtain closed just as the jury whispers.
assume the notices were good this time?
Well, they were sincere, but it didn't make a difference.
What did they say?
Was that tenacious and unkempt.
And you ran a year.
We'd be running yet unless my daughter didn't come and close us up. I know it was bad, and audiences only came to laugh, but we all had a good time. Oh, I do miss it. Oh well. My turn is coming.
Well, I don't think that was very nice of your daughter. No! Don't do it! Please don't!
Barry, what's wrong?
Look, Mrs. Savage is going to introduce
Oh,
her.
what's the matter?
I wouldn't do that for you, Miss Savage.
Please give me Miss Savage, please.
You really must read it.
It will only make you
Hang
unhappy.
on just a moment. I know what the paper's going to say, so there's nothing you can hide from me. I've just been waiting for it to happen.
Waiting for... What the happened, Miss Savage?
And what it says in the paper.
We don't know what it says in the paper.
Then why are you trying to keep me from seeing it?
We have an agreement.
Yes, we don't read the newspaper until it's a month old.
We finally got happier when we wait.
Well, what are you waiting for?
Why, naturally we're waiting for him. What are we waiting for?
Perspective!
Yes, peace of mind.
Security.
It's reassuring to know it's over and nothing can be done.
My dear people, there's something important in this paper, and I want you to know about it now, not next month.
We're only trying to help you.
Yes.
Disaster is easier to digest when it's aged a little.
You're very kind. But I've made my bed, and I want to know who's in it.
We can't prevent Mrs. Savage from reading the paper if she insists. And we don't know her well enough to be rude.
Florence is right.
Well, if you read anything unpleasant, don't tell us.
No! If there's trouble in the world, it won't help us to know about it.
This is yesterday's paper. I want today's paper.
Today's paper isn't here yet.
Will when does it come?
I don't know, I don't read the newspaper.
Is there a radio here?
Yes, it's over there.
Maybe I can catch the morning news. Why did no one tell me there was a...
No? I planted bird seeds last year to see what would come up.
What did come up, Barry?
Nothing, but it was a rich horticultural experience.
There's also this great green evergreen in the center. At Christmas time, there are lights around it that says, Merry Christmas! Keep out.
You should come with us, Mrs. Savage. I'll show you my delphiniums.
No, please go without me. I have some serious thinking to do.
But the buzzer buzzed, all right? One has to obey orders.
And ask what you're doing, Miss Savage.
Oh, I believe in wearing out a carpet evenly.
Oh, how prudent. I'm going to help you.
But don't you have to guard it, Fairy?
This is more constructive.
Well, then I'll help too. We almost do our share.
But I didn't mean to start a procession.
Come, boys. Many feet make light work.
Why not, Jeff? It's a refreshing change of pace. Most women lead us in circles.
But I feel like the Pied Piper.
Go ahead, Miss Savage. Jeff, you can take those roses. Hannibal, you can take the thorns. The rest of us will step on these. Oh, do you know what we're doing, Mrs. Willie?
I believe you're wearing the carpet out evenly.
Somebody told you?
No, but didn't I hear the buzzer, Fairy?
I didn't hear it. I think it's broken.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
I wish I were dead.
It's really, it's my fault.
But I didn't feel like gardening anyhow.
Lawrence, you worked so hard on the flowers. Do you want them to die?
I don't want anything to die!
Oh, that's so true. Florence wouldn't hurt a fly. She captures them and keeps and pushes them out the window. Flies adore her.
Well, everyone out to the garden. Fairy, share your seeds with Mrs. Savage. Run along.
Another phone from Washington. We can expect them by tonight.
Indeed we can. Well, I'm not going anyplace.
How could you have spent $10 million without anybody knowing about it?
Who says I spent it?
The paper says you did.
Well, what do they know? Besides, I didn't spend it. I hid it.
You hid it.
In nice $500,000 negotiable bonds that cannot be traced.
Why?
Well, I don't ask what you do with your money, Doctor.
Well, I am sorry that this has happened, Mrs. Savage, but I'm afraid your hidden treasure is going to prove to be a great disadvantage to you.
That is because you are a doctor, and doctors never know the value of money.
Would you like to know how long it would take me to earn that?
Sorry for interrupting. I just wanted to get the violin. Fairy May wants me to play music while she plans. Needle me.
Are you sure there have been no calls or messages to me today? Positive. Then would it be possible to send to the village to get today's newspaper? You know what? I'll ask Dr. Emmett if we pass out the rest of the crop.
Very well, thank you.
You're annoying.
You single me out for attention, Mrs. Willie. It's not fair. It makes me uncomfortable.
I'm tired tonight. I'll try to remember. I'm sorry, I forgot.
No. It's okay. I forget too.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the best dressed of them all? Fairy who?
Give me your coffee, Fairy.
Oh, yes, please. This is dressed to anything for me. I made it myself.
It's your delight, Fairy. Sugar?
5. There wasn't enough time to sew it together, so I put it together with pins.
Hannibal,
No, thank you.
would you like to know something to make that exercise a little more enjoyable,
An
Hannibal?
enjoyable way of exercising has yet to be invented.
Well, I know of an improvement. All you need is a deck of cards.
I went to a fortune teller once when I was 14. Everything he told me turned out wrong. I've never believed much in cards after that.
Very, very, very.
All you have to do is throw them up in the air.
What?
To lose weight. Now all you have to do is pick them up one by one.
Oh, I like that. It's tidy.
I learned it in a beauty course.
Thank you, Miss Savage. It's a great improvement.
But wouldn't it be much easier to pick them up sideways?
It would indeed. Man was made all wrong. When he bends over, his stomach gets in the way when it should really be on its back. And when he kneels, his knees buckle forward instead of neatly folding behind him. And the nose only gets in the way when he kisses.
Oh, you're so right, Hannibal.
Guess God was in a hurry.
Well, Hannibal, what are we doing now?
Losing weight.
Well, would you postpone it for a while? Would you all go upstairs to the study? I'd like to talk to Mrs. Savage. Florence, would you take the coffee up with you? Oh, I hate having coffee upstairs. It's so middle class.
Dr. Kermit, may I say? No, you may not.
Miss Willie tells me you seem anxious to write the papers. Why?
Habit.
Here they are. It will undoubtedly please you to know that you caused considerable trouble again.
Doctor, I'm sorry, but what gives you the right to protest, sir? This doesn't concern you.
I love you all for wanting to help me, but Dr. Emmett hasn't much choice, as you must have overheard.
Mrs. Savage, what will you do?
I'll give them the bonds.
I think you made the right decision.
Are you going to tell us or not?
I'm going to show you. We're going to show you.
Oh, don't you hurt it.
Here's your treasure.
My God, she had been with her all the time!
Miss Patty's here. Oh, Miss Patty. Miss Patty.
Someone turn those lights on, you hear me?
Just a moment, I'll call you back up.
I didn't stop moving, someone might kill you!
Hey, straight to back. Hey, who is this? Someone turn those lights on! Who turned those lights off?
One of our patients. Oh, Mrs. Patty!
Where's Bluebell? She's disappeared.
Oh my goodness, what are you doing down there?
Somebody pushed me.
I didn't do it. I was not close enough.
They're gone. The bots are gone! What did you do with them?
I put them on the table. You saw me do it yourself.
Then where are they?
Excuse me, Senator? It's quite clear what happened here. Mrs. Patty came in, turned the lights off, and ran.
Mrs. Patty, get Miss Willie, get Mrs. Patty and notify all the guard before she destroys those bombs.
Yes, Doctor.
I'm going to pieces.
Here, try this. This will relax you.
Darling Mrs. Patty. Come on, girls. Let's go for a walk.
My God, this is a madhouse.
Within our grasp! Why didn't you stop her, Titus?
How did I know the lights were going to go out?
It's quite possible Mrs. Patty didn't take them at all.
No one else could have taken them.
You could have.
Lilybell was 10 feet away from the table.
But she's quick when it comes to money. Personally, I think she took them and stuck them down her foot. Lord knows there's room. Why don't you search her?
You didn't take this, Lilybell.
Of course not! Can't you see she's trying to make us suspect each other?
Someone else could have taken them. He was near the table when the lights went out.
He was right beside it.
Well, what have you got to say?
I didn't do it. I don't like bombs.
The Queen of Spades. Somebody's going to die.
Doctor, must we have all these people here?
Yes, get them out of here. No, don't let anyone out of your sight until you search that man.
Everyone else with his clothes. Oh, my glasses too.
Mary, just a moment, Mrs. Savage. Please don't make this any more difficult than you already have. And someone, please do something about this man throwing cards. My nerves are on edge.
Hannibal. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't do this. Don't do that. Other people scream. I understand you have a lovely tiara. Do you sleep in it?
Sit down, you unattractive creature! I have quite enough.
Don't like you.
Very sick.
Stop her, don't let her get
I
away.
think you better join us. Patty would like to talk to you.
Now we're going to question her. Where did you put the bonds,
I
madam?
think you better let me question her, Senator. She won't talk to you.
Oh, yes, she will.
Oh, no, she won't.
We'll just see about that. What have you got to say for yourself?
I hate everything in the world. But most of all, I hate revolving doors, cut doors, fight bugs, fleas, bumblebees, prickly heat, bats, gnats, pills, pots, pans, butts, bladders, worms, germs, pachyderms, and politicians.
What does she mean?
Weren't you listening?
Madam, do you hear what I
There's
asked
no need to shout, Senator. Mrs. Patty hears you well enough, but she won't talk to you. She hasn't answered a question in 20 years.
Don't play any tricks.
Look at me. Do you remember the lights turning out? Yes, you do. And do you remember a little bundle of papers on the table? Try to remember. Think.
Dr. Evan, I think I found them.
Oh, no, you don't.
Have some kind of threat you resort to here. I don't threaten my patients. The truth drug.
Of course. Use the truth dog on her.
I'm afraid it's out of the question. I have to have her guardian's consent.
Then we'll get it. Who is he?
Her husband.
I'll get him on the phone right now. Where is he?
Japan.
Well, haven't you the authority to act without him here?
We've no proof that she took them yet.
I still think Lily Bell's your girl.
Will you stop saying that?
All right, Dr. Emmett.
Yes, Joe?
Well, since Mrs. Savage can't have the bonds anyhow, I guess I can help you.
Yes.
Mrs. Patty didn't take the bonds
How do you know?
because I took them.
He's a thief. You took them.
No, by no who did.
I know a fire when I see one.
Who did, Hannibal?
It was not Miss Patty.
Who was it?
It was not Florence either.
I don't care about who was it. I want to know who was it.
Is that your grammar?
Ask Muhammad what he's got. He'll tell you all the things he is. That's easier than saying all the things he is.
And one of the things he isn't is he isn't on your side.
Hannibal, do you know who took the bonds?
I don't know who took the bonds. I know it was a woman. I know it was not Miss Patty.
Oh, fiddle! Let the house
How
burn.
do you know?
A woman pushed me on the way to get them.
How do you know it was a woman?
Titus, how do you know it was not Mrs. Patty?
Mrs. Patty does not wear perfume.
Well, Lily Bell bathes in it.
I was nowhere near the table!
Could you identify the scent?
I think so.
Well, I use gardenia. Fairy, what do you use? No name. I make my own. Hannibal, smell Lily Bell.
Yes.
Titus, I don't tolerate this! The maids fools us for their own amusement!
Smell anything?
Yes.
What?
Smoke.
High time!
I must be losing my mind. I smell smoke too.
Dr. Everett, there's a fire upstairs.
Where?
In Miss Patty's bathtub.
The bathtub? I don't think it'll fit to anyone.
And it's the bonds, or what's left of them.
Oh no. No, 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 no,
Let me see. Why, there's no telling what these are.
no! Miss Patty, did you take those bonds to your room and set fire to them?
Senator, I just found this. I can't make out what it is from you.
It's the burnt end of a $500,000 bond.
Are you sure? Miss Lee, can you hand me that? Are you sure, Mrs. Savage? Can you identify this?
Well, your treasure hunt is over. It's almost left of $10 million. I should have told a lie, so maybe someone would believe me.
Yes, I'm sorry, Fairy. I should have believed you. I should have heard what bullying with my patients I intend to. Now, would you be so kind as to leave at once? What about the burdens? Is it worth anything?
Nothing! I hold you completely responsible for this, doctor!
I don't know how to be born!
We'll be fine. I'm still senator after all.
Lily Bell, I never meant for it to end like this, believe me.
Titus, take me
don't have to worry about a thing. We would never transfer you to a public institution.
We are savage!